Hello and welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 132. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Klokowski and Liam McKelvey. Hello.
Yo. Hi. How you doing?
What's your t-shirt about, Jake?
Nobody wins, guaranteed loss. The inevitability of death.
Oh. Well, just a joyous start to the podcast this week.
Every goth needs in their wardrobe.
Exactly. If I'm wearing a bright colour, at least I'm facing my mortality at the same time.
That's
so, right. For the audio listeners, I'm enshrouded in fog. I'm wearing a cloak, and it's very ominous.
Yeah, big, like fringe action. Just you can't see Jake's forehead. I mean, the hair is just in front of the forehead.
Absolutely. The Wi-Fi signal in this castle has been a bit spotty lately, but hopefully I'm coming through nice and clear. Anyway, so we're recording.
It's bad in Transylvania generally, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, we're recording this a little early, so in case I'm just wanted to say that. In case some massive walloping news comes out tomorrow out of nowhere, and everyone's like, "Oh, whoa!" Yeah, these are the guys. These are the cutting edge podcasters that talk about. I mean, last week it was Battlefield 4. Who knows what it could be this week? But what I like is the cutting edge.
I promise you, it will be older this week. I mean, the people do say, like, they genuinely say you're my favourite source of gaming news and stuff.
From 2005.
Which is, we're not a source of anything, really. You shouldn't consider us a source of anything, right? At least the one news.
Yeah. Unless you're at the gym, in which case we're a source of power. We've been told that a lot, and I don't refute any claim.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
I can see how he would get people to like bench more and stuff. Maybe just from sheer anger from listening.
What's this again? Fucking overboard. Yeah.
Days Gone isn't that bad. Well, it's pretty busy. There's a couple of big hitters this week in terms of games. Yeah. We haven't had any emails in the inbox, which is very unusual, but it's been very good recently. So. Please keep your emails coming into dearspecialmoves@gmail.com, but there'll be no email this week. And we've been busy playing stuff, and as promised, I've been playing some old shit. I've been playing Skyrim, which is just the fucking best. I think it was what made me. I guess Limmy's playing it, so maybe that's what got it.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So I jumped on. Bit of Skyrim last week, and I have, like I've been saying recently, I've been jumping around on different things and playing different games, and but I actually got stuck into Skyrim, and I'm even bothering to do I'm playing it on PS5, and I'm even bothering to do the workaround so I can get the trophies and get the 60 FPS mod.
That is honestly exactly. Remember, I was saying, might not have even been on this podcast. I did the exact same thing, right? Yeah. But I wanted the mods, and it disabled the achievement, so I was like. No, because when I got my Xbox at Christmas, I played it with the mods, and I'm like, fuck yeah, but there's a little workaround, isn't there?
Yeah, it's
I was tempted to jump in.
Every time that you've booted up, you have to like activate and deactivate the mod and close the game and open the game, and it's a bit of a faff, but it is, honestly, it's unplayably rubbish to play it vanilla. Once you've tried the 60 FPS mod, it's so bad.
Can I ask, are you playing the special edition as well?
Oh yeah.
So there's not even vanilla, is it? That's the thing. Yeah.
But it's so good, and to be honest, I haven't actually experienced the game as it should be without, because the 60 FPS is the only mod I'm using, and it's it's a great like RPG, first person kind of. You know what Elder Scrolls is, right, everyone? But it's like to play it in its like vanilla-ish state, the special edition state without like some modded. Fucking, the Hunter's Lodge or something that I've added in that's just up a tree or something, and there's all I'd played it years ago, just modded to hell. So everything was all different, and I'd added in loads of characters and quest chains and all this shit. So to just experience it as it should be is really cool. I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's really what I really value about it is how laid back it is. How relaxing of a game it is to play.
Yeah, the skybox at night, the knowing that anyone that comes close to you is getting an absolute thrashing, the music, everything about it, the herbs that you don't ever pick up, I love being in Skyrim after all these years, and 10 years old this year.
Crazy. So,
yeah.
Cool. So I did say it would be older than Battlefield 4.
There we go.
Liam, what have you been up to, man?
Literally just Monster Hunter Stories 2, and I've not even played all that much of it. But then I forget it only came out on Friday, but it feels like it's been an eternity since Friday anyway.
Honestly, it does.
It really does. Yeah. I don't know why. It feels like it's been a week already, but it hasn't. So it's the new Capcom RPG sequel to the 3DS game, which I also played a couple of weeks ago. And it's good. It's very comfort foody. You know, it's like it's got a very strong PS2 vibe to it. The basic setup is, instead of hunting monsters, you like befriend them, a bit like Pokemon. You sneak into monster dens, steal their eggs, which is a bit, stealing babies.
At least you're not flaying them alive like in the other Monster Hunters.
Well, you do that as well, because you still make gear out of them. So now they've just added kidnapping their children to the list for the morbidness that is Monster Hunter. So you build a team of monsters that you hatch from eggs, and then you go around, you fight monsters, you do a bit of questing. It's a bit more story-driven, Monster Hunter Stories, because it is a JRPG, pretty much. And you just play as, like, a fresh-faced rider who's coming from, his, like, graduation ceremony at the village, but, what's this? There's a possible world-ending threat you have to investigate. Pretty much every JRPG ever made. But that's how it starts, and you set out on an adventure across the big wide world, recruiting monsters, fighting monsters, carving them up for gear, and it's pretty much, it takes the Monster Hunter mechanics and just like puts them into like a turn-based combat instead of real-time action. It's like, and it's a bit like Fire Emblem. You got like the triangle weakness system where it's a bit rock paper scissors, except it's like power beats speed, not power beats technical beats speed beats power, just like rock paper scissors system. And then it's got like big fancy looking limit breaks called kinship skills in your turn-based combat, which is literally a limit break pretty much. It's very fun so far. It's very breezy, very light-hearted. Stakes are pretty low, even though the world is possibly ending. Who knows? I like
kind of like real life, isn't it? Really,
pretty much. I like it a lot. It's an improvement on the first Monster Hunter Stories, which was also good, but had a lot of like lot of little like quality of life stuff it could have done with, which is all there in Monster Hunter Stories 2. They've doubled the amount of weapons you can use. So in Monster Hunter Stories 1, you could only use like 4 weapon types. I think there's 8 now. So they've added like gun lance, hunting horn, and no, hunting horn was in the original. Gun lance, bow, something else. I can't remember which the other last one is. But there's more weapons to use. They've added in like some of the newer monsters as well now. From like World and Rise, there's new monsters from them in there, compared to like the older one, which is like all the old monsters. I don't really know what to say about it, to be honest. Like,
Liam, are you playing it on PC or on the Switch?
Oh yeah. So I'm playing it on PC. I did play the demo on the Switch, and it looks good on the Switch, but it also runs very badly on the Switch.
It's bad. I got it on the Switch, and it is really.
I
don't normally complain about frame rate, but man,
this is why, going back to the SWOLED from last week, that it is disappointed that the Nintendo Switch OLED is a. There is no performance improvement, and there's so many games where if it isn't the visuals that are disappointing or compromised, it's usually the frame rate, and things are running at like 15, 20 FPS and shit like that, which is, if you play any amount of PC, makes it really difficult to enjoy.
Yeah, it's even more of a disappointment considering it comes out after Monster Hunter Rise, which ran and looked incredibly well on the Switch. Right. And that
really well.
Yeah, and Rise is arguably, there's a lot more going on in it, because you've got all the monster AI wandering about on the map.
And the graphics are like more like realistic, whereas this one is like stylized, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more chibi, like anime look to it. Like everyone looks like a cartoon character. But it's very fun. It's very lighthearted. It's not like it's probably not like going to be the absolute must-have Switch exclusive or next big RPG you're going to play. But it's good. It's fun. I would recommend it if you're a fan of, especially the first Monster Hunter stories. Oh, that's it. Like, so some of the quality of life stuff I remembered as well. Like, you can use all the items you have in your bag this time in 2. Because in the first one, you could only pick, like, I think it was like 10 items to take into a battle. And that led to a lot of times, especially later in the first one, where like battles would sort of become like a bit of a war of attrition, where you'd have to keep healing, but you could only have like 5 potions at a time. And it really became this sort. I know it's like you could argue that it's taken a layer of strategy out of the game, but I would much rather have access to my entire inventory instead of having to like selectively choose what I want.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of thing that sounds good when it's on a whiteboard, but then when you actually play it, it's
quite frustrating. But yeah, it's pretty much, in a nutshell, Monster Hunter Stories 2 is, it's not like a massive leap from the first one. It's more iterative, small little improvements that add up rather than big revolutionary changes. It's not like going from original Monster Hunter to Monster Hunter World, where it was like night and day difference between the two. It's more just like, it's the first one again, some little improvements here and there, just to make the game a lot more enjoyable, nicer to play, smoother. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. I've played about 7 hours. Don't know how far I am into it. I think I'm on like the 3rd or 4th chapter. Not quite sure. But I'm starting to get loads of cool monsters now that I've got the, like, Puke is my main. He's my boy.
Yeah.
I've got Azuros, Royal Ludroth. Got some cool monsters. Yeah, and it's fun. I'm looking forward to playing more. But that is literally the only thing I've played this week.
You played anything, Jake?
Yeah. But what was it? I forgot now. Well, Monster Hunter Stories I played a bit of as well, innit? But, I can't... What can I add? Nothing.
Yeah. We played quite a bit of Battlefield on the weekend.
We have played a battle... Yeah, we did. We did, and I just, I don't want to talk about Battlefield. I do. No, the thing is, I actually do, right? But I'm trying to... By the way, speaking of, yeah? What have I been banging on about all year, innit? New World. Mm-hmm. Do you know, for the next week's podcast, I'll be able to talk about New World with over 200 fucking hours of playtime on the fucking thing. The fucking thing launches on Tuesday. Boys, I listen, I'm telling everyone listening to the podcast now, unless there's somebody else that's played this long, you're not going to find a more in-depth thing about this game, so I'm looking forward to that one. But I have been playing the hardest RPG I ever played in my life, Ring Fit Adventure. Yeah. Yeah. So just for those, it's not really on the topic of games, innit? But I hit 30 last month, 30 years old, in real life. And like, oh my God. So basically my weight has just doubled over the last 10 years. I used to be like really skinny and I could just eat what I want. So I got loads of bad habits. And then when I was 20, my body was like, nah. And I've never, ever lost weight as a concept since I was born. Never lost weight. Think about that. That's crazy, isn't it? I've only ever maintained or boom, 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 boom. So anyway, on the 1st of June, I thought, well, I'm going to die when I'm like 35 if I don't sort this out. Not that I'm like chronically obese, but whatever. The point is, like, I'm really unhealthy. So in the past like 5 weeks, I've lost like 1.5 stone, which for people listening around the world, that's 24 pounds and 10 kilograms. Got those stats up for you right now, didn't I?
That's good.
So I've changed my eating habits loads, and I wasn't exercising, so I lost all that weight without exercising. So I thought, okay, well, I started to my results are slowing down, and a lot of people are telling me, Jake, you're an idiot, because those results are crazy for like 5 weeks. Like with that current trajectory, I could have lost like 40, 50 kilograms by Christmas, like 100 pounds by Christmas. But I'm like, well, that's good, and I want to suffer through it. I don't want to start coasting. So I started plateauing. So I thought, well, I'm going to just roll in some exercise, isn't it? So I thought, well, I saw a little nice, tasty little offer on Ring Fit Adventure. So I thought, oh, well, let's give it a go. Yeah. And I've been on it. Yeah, I've been on it the past 3 days in a row. And I don't leave until my heart rate's about 150 every day. And the game's telling me come off. So I'm like, all right. Yeah. So
we advise you to stop.
It does. It does. It says, why not take a break at this rate? So I like it because it's I don't know, it's a cool bit of motivation. I don't really like the idea of gamifying everything. I think it's pretty lame, and I don't think it necessarily works for everything. But I suppose when you're at home exercising, it's kind of hard to know when's, what's good and what's not. And this kind of provides you with everything you need to do. It's going to tell you need to do squats, you need to, you're going to do things that you wouldn't have thought about yourself. And whatever.
It sort of legit works as a game, so it's a successful distraction from the exercise, isn't it? Based on, Laura played it quite a bit, and
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
into it, and
it's good. It's like a turn-based RPG thing where you get into battles and then you've got to use different, you got to do 20 squats and that's one attack, but then you can't chain them up in case you're dead good at doing squats in real life, innit? It's to try and force you to do different attacks. But then it is literally like an RPG, and you've got multiple enemies, and some of the exercises attack all of the enemies, and some focused and do extra damage on one. It's pretty cool, and it tricks me into exercising more than I wanted to. So today I did a level, and I was quite tired, and I looked. The next level was estimated time about 4 minutes, and I was like, well, only another 4 minutes. Go on then. And then I did that, and it was 4 minutes of sprinting. So it kicked the shit out of me. I never. But what I mean is, without the game, why would I ever be dead tired and then go, oh my god, I'm tired. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. 4 minutes of solid sprinting. Yeah. But it gives you that nice little carrot on a stick where you're constantly just going towards these little goals. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm worried about breaking the ring fit device is a plastic ring, and it's squeeze me, and I'm I can feel it bending, and it's kind of like a circular resistance band or something, but got a lot of durability to it. But it's proper jam this into your own stomach to guard against enemies. You have to squish it against your abs to get it to block enemies, and I feel like it's just gonna just snap basically. But it's cool, and it's one of them ones where Nintendo always have got these out there ideas. I don't know how Labo, whatever the hell it's called, worked. I didn't really go on that one, the cardboard thing that is for the Switch. I didn't do that. But Wii Fit, everyone knows about Wii Fit and Wii Sports, innit? It was a worldwide thing. So with Ring Fit, I honestly had no idea if it was received well or not. Was it a gimmick or not? But this is the shit that, justifies Nintendo doing all that goofy stuff they do, giving an OLED screen, because when they make these little gimmicks and stuff, they do it well. I'll tell you what, it's got me excited for WarioWare, knowing that they're going to be pushing what the Joy-Cons can do to the limit. Because one of the things that really confused me was, the in between exercises, it says hold your thumb over the infrared sensor on the Joy-Con. And first of all, I'm like, what do you mean infrared sensor? What's that even? Put my thumb over it, and then it gets your pulse from that. What the fuck? How powerful are these little things? Maybe that's why they're drifting all the time, innit? They just got too many features.
Too much technology in there. Yeah, that's really good. I think they put a lot of money in marketing it and stuff as well. And they had, the woman from Love Island and stuff in the UK anyway, doing the ads and stuff for it, and and trying to get beyond the Switch audience in exactly the same way that they did, like you said, with sports and with Wii Sports and Wii Fit and whatever. They do it sometimes. They just manage to leave the, gaming sphere and get normal people to play it and get your grandparents to do it and
hyper casual.
Yeah,
that's it. But yeah, it was good. It's a nice surprise. So we'll see how my relationship with it sours. You guys all know what I'm like. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes to do the 180. But I don't know. I could be shredded fucking champion of the world, and then it could, Ring Fit changed my life video. And I'm joking.
I'd love it, just to see you walking into the octagon or something. And you're just I came from Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it called?
I will bring down the wrath of 10,000 Bowsers. Yeah.
Thank you, Ring Fit Adventure. Thank you, Ring Fit Adventure.
Thank you.
My journey.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Nintendo.
Wrestling's already not far off from that, to be fair.
Well, yeah. So yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, Liam posted in the WhatsApp, and for those that haven't seen this, it's not really gaming news, but it kind of it's worth a Google. Have a look at this. Wrestling, for some reason, wrestling and video games have got a big crossover in fandom. And there's this kind of ongoing, I guess the word that they're using is war, where the fans are all holding up signs talking about the best Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. And when I say some, it's not 2 or 3 or even 10 or 20. It's a good, it's been going on for a good while now, where it's ramping up. Even Persona 5's getting dropped in there. But there's people saying like Final Fantasy VIII is trash. Signs it in the crowd, like for the WWE. That's really funny. The JRPG wars.
It's a crossover, isn't it? Like a lot of the websites and shit. And do you remember, like, IGN definitely, and all them kind of sites, and even like Video Gamer, right? Because they had it's called Video Gamer, but then Simon Miller is like a fucking big wrestling guy now.
There's a lot of wrestlers who stream as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's tons. That's the closest thing that I know to wrestling. Really, is that I got a couple of friends who are pro wrestlers. That's what's funny. That's what's I don't even really know what they do. That's good for them. And then you can search them on YouTube, and you're like, what the fuck? But I'm really at like odds when you go to like EGX or you go to the conventions, and everyone's talking about wrestling. It's like a really big thing there, but kind of odd, isn't it? But it's one of them. Not wrestling, just being at peak physical strength, and also building houses out of blocks on Minecraft.
But there's a lot of downtime in it, because there's like rugby players and that they just, a lot of them play games, and that's because they have like explosive exercise sessions of like an hour and a half, and then they have to do nothing for like hours. So then some of them are playing cards and shit, but a lot of them playing games. And then actually you mentioned the wrestlers, but there's some like Welsh rugby players who are like streamers, and they're streaming on Twitch and stuff, and they're doing like these video interview behind the scenes shit, and they're like plugging their own streaming Twitch names and shit like that. Kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy just how many like celebrities are doing that, and I really don't know why. But whatever. Yeah.
Well, there must be something to it, right? Okay, so I've been playing Parkasaurus, and I don't think I mentioned this on the podcast. To you guys.
You mentioned it when we went to the cinema. In real life.
Oh yeah, so that was Friday. So yeah, so I don't think I mentioned Parkasaurus. If I haven't, I really apologize for repeating myself.
You haven't.
But basically, Parkasaurus. I'm really into like these like park management, bright, colourful, sort of park management games. I don't know what else to call them. So like
Tycoon Simulator, they're called, aren't they?
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Used to love that kind of stuff. And then Jurassic World, I really enjoy Jurassic World. I haven't got into Planet Zoo, I haven't picked that up yet, but and then there's a new Jurassic World Evolution game coming where you build and manage a park, and you make money out of the visitors, and you have to kind of design the attractions and research more dinosaurs and shit. And I really like it. I really like that, and even that extends to like Tropico and stuff like this. I don't know what it is. If it's a bright, colourful, light-hearted game where you build and manage stuff and make a bit of money, I'm really into it. But then I found a game that is like essentially the Steam early access equivalent of Jurassic World Evolution, which is called Parkasaurus, and it was on sale for like 11 quid or something. It came out in 2020, so I think it was the end of the summer, kind of August, September time, 2020.
Yeah.
And it's like an isometric, a bit more old-fashioned perspective, where it's like locked off, and it's all based on a grid and whatever, but it's really colourful, and it's really kind of just filled with personality, and I really like this kind of approach to, you actually build the dinosaurs enclosure, but then you have to like carefully bioengineer it for the dinosaurs. So you have to add the right amount of water, the right kind of trees, the right rocks, and all this kind of stuff to make it nice for the dinosaurs. It's really good. It's really, really entertaining. I didn't expect it to be as engrossing as it was, even when I bought it. Just been playing it like through the single player campaign.
Yeah, it looks cool. The art style is really ace and vibrant. One thing I noticed, it was also picked up by Ubisoft's indie series like awards. Dorf Romantic is the only other game to have also been picked up the same. So they got a good eye, Ubisoft. Yeah. So it's made by a team of 2 people as well, which when you look at the games, pretty big achievement. I would say
it is impressive. And Jake mentioned the Dorf Romantic there, which we talked about recently, and Terra Nil, which I talked about recently.
Yeah,
it's exactly in that league of like relaxing, even though it's obviously it's a park management building, and there's more going on that you have to think about. You have to hire staff all that like 2 Point Hospital.
I can see a graph here, so yeah.
There are graphs, yeah, but they're very pastely and
they are, yeah, they are very very cool graphs.
Yeah, graphs go, and yeah, I just wanted to mention it. If anybody's who's listening who likes that kind of park management thing, I can't recommend it highly, really.
It looks so cool. You can make the dinosaurs wear hats as well, so that's good.
Yeah. Silly, there's loads of like silly customization type stuff, and it's got like that Untitled Goose Game sense of like just silly things happening, picking things up and moving them around.
It's good that's good, because if you're doing a really serious game about dinosaurs, it's going to be a bit too grim, isn't it? So yeah, it looks cool. I've been looking for something like this that kind of hits that same, like, I played Theme Park World on the PlayStation 1, and I loved that. It had the right amount of humor, and it was cool, and each like level had a theme, and I'm always looking for stuff like that, and it's got that like funny PlayStation 1 sensibility. It looks like, so yeah, cool.
Yeah,
nice one.
Exactly, like the obviously having the more restricted indie budget and scale, and having been a 2-person team and all that, it just gives something to it. And I always say that like 3D, unless Jurassic World Evolution looks amazing and Planet Coaster looks amazing, so they have succeeded. But there's so many games, I say it a lot with like the Stronghold series, where just being 3D as a strategy game isn't always good. Maybe you should think about making a 2D strategy game, because you're more restricted, the expectations are different, and it just looks really good. Like the 2D Age of Empires looks so much better than the 3D Age of Empires, I think. So yeah, and I'd say the same kind of applies here. Unless you're really going to knock it out of the park with a Jurassic World Evolution kind of budget, maybe you should think about this approach, because it works really well. It looks really good, and it's really fun to play. And I'll keep playing it, definitely.
Nice one, man. That's a really good shout. Yeah.
Have you guys seen anything in the news?
Well,
caught your eye?
I have actually seen one thing. I've not. It only happened yesterday, so I've not even got to speak to our Liam about it, which is.
Liam.
Yeah, Liam already knows probably, innit? But have you seen about this Final Fantasy XIV selling out digitally thing?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, right, okay. No, Mike, it's actually got a nice thing behind it, to be completely honest, yeah?
Oh, okay.
So Final Fantasy XIV has had this insane resurgence. Well, it already had an insane resurgence when it was reborn or whatever, but it just continues to impress people, and it continues to convert cynics, which is something that, as that happens more and more and escalates more and more, the more cynics are getting created, surely. But there's also this hype then. But no, they managed to really, really kill it. And so they've, in my opinion, they've managed to really position themselves in the perfect place, because it's July at the moment, and World of Warcraft Classic has just released their big expansion, which is hitting a certain demographic. Ashes of Creation, which is a highly anticipated MMO that's been in development for a long time, long awaited by many MMO fans, has had a playable alpha this month. And Amazon's New World, which is kind of Amazon's last chance to really bring it before they just admit failure, that they've been working tirelessly on for a couple of years now. And they keep Megazord and all of their companies into it. Their big thing is next week. So the game launches in August, but their beta is next week, which is when most people are going to look at it on YouTube and decide whether they give a shit or not. Final Fantasy XIV is just rolling on in the middle of all that and somehow being the best at it. So I love the fact that it's not new or exciting. The fact that it's been out for years and years and years, and it's the most beloved, most talked about MMO out there at the moment. Facts. It's crazy. So yeah, more and more content creators are picking it up, which is leading more and more regular people to pick it up. The word of mouth, everything's crazy. To the point where the servers are overloaded. And because the servers are overloaded, Square Enix are doing the right thing for a change and saying, look, if you buy the game now, realistically, in North America, you won't be able to play it. So we're sold out until we can get more server capacity. They don't want to just keep selling and selling and selling. They want people to, be able to play the game.
It's forced them to make a multi-million-dollar investment into getting a new data center. There's been that many new players. They literally need to invest in new servers to accommodate everyone. And apparently it's something to do with if I remember the headline, it was the pre-orders for the new expansion are already up 160% over the last expansion, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's it's doing insane numbers. Yeah, it's cool. I like that it's gone from being one of the worst MMOs ever made to now literally the biggest in the world.
It's up there. I look forward to a What Culture video. There's probably already about 20 of them. Top 5 redemption arcs. It's going to be No Man's Sky in this, isn't it? But yeah, it's going from strength to strength. Like they just beat their best concurrents ever on Steam recently, so more people are playing it than ever before. There's 22 million accounts registered on the game, and they're just like, I know I'm trying to I sound flowery about it, but it's just so many companies would just go, code is infinite, sell as many codes as you can. If players have to wait, high demand. How many MMOs, how many just regular games have shit broken servers on launch? And the players wait, and that kind of makes this like exclusivity. So for them to not be doing that and to sell out digitally, I know it's all kind of manufactured, but the way that they've done it is a pretty cool thing. So I just find it mad that in the months where it should be Ashes of Creation and New World's time to shine, Final Fantasy XIV continues to just absolutely dominate, which is just, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. They also did a thing, they're running a month-long, campaign to get old players coming back, where they let you log in for free for a month if your account's been inactive for a bit, which I might do, because it's been a while since I played it, so I might take advantage of that free month.
Yeah, exactly. What they're doing is genius, and they've the whole thing about Final Fantasy XIV from the game's initial shit version, from the realm of Revolt, they haven't put a foot wrong, which for an MMO over years is crazy. So yeah, that caught my eye because really, it's it's almost like against all odds. It shouldn't be doing as well as it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. Did you guys see the Kojima director's cut thing with Death Stranding? So Death Stranding is getting a director's cut,
but not by his own choice.
Yeah.
No, what's this?
Kojima tweeted, so the director's cut, which is basically adding. It's not a cut. It's adding stuff to Death Stranding, like actual content. It's not just a visual upgrade for next gen. It's there's the racing and stuff, and there's improved, I don't know, melee combat and whatever.
Mounted machine guns.
There was a machine gun turret, which is completely
stunt ramps.
All sorts of shit. And then Kojima, after that was revealed, Kojima tweeted saying, "Here's what director's cut means to me." And that's why I don't think.
Please don't block me, Nicholas. Please don't block me, Guillermo del Toro.
Exactly. And in my opinion, this is not a director's cut kind of thing. That's not what he said, but the words to those effect. So he's kind of tweeted saying that he disagrees with it.
That's interesting because I think we even had the discussion about it, or at least a laugh about it in WhatsApp and it. But when it was a director's cut, you think, fucking hell, how Kojima is that? But knowing that it's actually not Kojima is interesting, then, isn't it? Yeah.
This is what he said, right? A director's cut in a movie is an additional edit to a shortened version that was either released reluctantly because the director did not have the right to edit it, or because the running time had to be shortened. In the game, it is not what was cut, but what was additionally produced that is included. It said director's plus question mark. So in my opinion, I don't like to call it director's cut. And that's all he said. So the Death Stranding director's cut, which I'm actually really looking forward to, is coming in September. September the 24th. So I've been waiting to play Death Stranding for months now. But I just want to play it in good.
I can tell because when they announced it and then it was September, you were like, "That's ages away," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
what?"
That's furious. I thought it was going to be in 2 weeks. But
out right now. Yeah, sure. Well,
they're just kind of moving away from when PS5 and the Xbox were brand new. It was a patch or an update or a little tweak on the PSN store and make it 70 quid, and that makes it the next gen version. But now it seems to be more of a big deal about this is the boxed version of the PS5 game, and the same. Well, Xbox is doing a better job of it, but you know what I mean. They're making more of a product out of the next gen thing now. I think.
Yeah.
Cool. That's just something that caught my eye.
Well,
There's something else as well about Call of Duty Warzone, which we haven't played in ages, by the way. And I kind of fancy getting back into it.
I do, but I don't fancy downloading 200 fucking gig.
That's the problem, innit? It literally.
And that's not an exact. That wasn't a joke, was it? That's legitimately it. 200 gigabytes of game.
It's two. I looked at it like a few days ago. It's about 230 or something like that. It's like two. You know, that is half of the space you've got on the PS5.
Yeah, but it runs at 120 FPS on PS5.
Flip. What's the thingy then?
Well, they're adding like an objective-based mode to it. So, so Warzone obviously is a battle royale game, and they have had a different. What was the other mode that was like?
Cash money mode. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah. What did you have to do with that?
You had to like collect as much money as you could, and then take it to a helicopter to get lifted out. But like whilst you were kind of vulnerable because everyone knew the helicopter was coming, and people could shoot you, pick up your money, and then loot it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What the hell was that called? Call of Duty Money Mode.
Cash Money Mode is a good name.
Oh yeah, Cash Money is just what it's going to be called forever now.
Plunder mode, isn't it? Look.
Well, this new mode is called Payload, right? This is what Eurogamer said. Inspired by Call of Duty's World War II war mode, where two teams of 20 players fight against each other in a race against time to get intel from vehicles. So it's like a more objective rather than just killing each other,
so
and the map's getting smaller.
So vehicles would just move around the map, and it's like some sort of heist thing, is it?
Yeah, it's like you're either escorting the vehicles or you're taking them out. But it's so annoying. Like I want to be excited about that, but that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, I was thinking. But I'm not going to get it because I just can't spare 230 gig or whatever.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's the principle, isn't it? I'll tell you what, though. I've maybe done enough to warrant a big discussion about it, but I'll just mention it in passing. I did play a good 3 or 4 hours of Apex Legends this week. I haven't installed it for a very long time. Yeah, still playing Pathfinder.
Did you just quickly? Did you see there was a news story about Apex? People were hacking Apex to complain about people hacking Titanfall.
That's why I went on. I went on to see, and I'll tell you something. I played with cross-play off and couldn't find the game. I was in the lobby for 8 minutes trying to play unranked and ranked.
On what? On PlayStation?
Yeah. I had to play with cross-play on, and I was looking out for hackers to see if I could find any, because I'd heard about that.
How were you looking out for them? Were you saying you were a hacker?
They're floating around and shit, aren't they? And just doing.
It's like so what it is, you've got to do a test, and if they explode, they're a hacker.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what the story is that Titanfall is kind of dead for now. There's no news about a new Titanfall. They're very restrictive about what they talk about, but it seems to be whenever they do say anything, they being the developers, they say like no news, right? So there's a game still there, Titanfall 2 with multiplayer, but it's riddled with hackers, invincibility, floating around and stuff. And Respawn and developers are only really pumping all of their effort into Apex Legends, their current shooter. So people have tried to like get Respawn to notice how broken the game is. Didn't work. So then in turn they've hacked Respawn to get into Apex to say, look guys, please, there's a security flaw, help us. And there's no official word on that, on what's going on, I don't think, really, from them. So,
well, I don't know. There's something about those battle royale games. Every once in a while, you just feel a call, like you want to go back into it. And
exactly.
You're spoiled for choice with it. But the one that I want to play, to be honest, is Call of Duty Warzone. But I'm not going to fucking do it because it's, again, I have not got the space for it. Apex, though, is probably a close second.
Yeah, I'll tell you what does have a battle royale mode in it. Battlefield 5. Have you even played that?
We're not going to do that, are we?
Yeah.
No, I played that once. It wasn't great, the Battlefield one.
I haven't heard anyone talk about it ever. Like I have not heard.
Yeah, I I've played it quite a bit, and I've not even told you about it. It's like it's that uneventful. I tell you what, though, it looks good. It's the best looking battle royale, easily. It's because the map is really cool for it. Easily the best.
What is the map?
I don't know, it's like some fucking Icelandic area, like really cool.
It's one of the Norwegian maps, I think.
Yeah. There's like coniferous trees and like pines and lodges, and then it's just really, really, really cool.
Because you'd think, with like Call of Duty, they stitch all of their different maps together to make that one big map. But you'd think with Battlefield, the maps are so fucking big anyway that you probably only need like 2 maps,
exactly
together, and you could probably have decent,
they've designed this one from the ground up. There's in Battlefield 2042, the new one, they said that there's going to be a new mode inspired by the old games, but I think I read on their website that there's a game. And it sounds like a battle royale mode, but they haven't really spoke about it. But it's on their website. It's like jump out of a plane with a couple of mates. Don't think it says that. But it says, oh, here we go. Hazard Zone, all new, high stakes squad based game type. It's a modern take on a multiplayer experience. No. Sorry, that is. Oh yeah, no, it is that, and it involves jumping out of a plane. So there's that, and then there's this love letter to the core fans. So Hazard Zone is like the Battlefield sandbox squad-based thing. So I don't know. I wonder if that's like their battle royale.
I've never dabbled in with Battlefield. I have only ever played Rush, Conquest, or whatever the Rush replacement is in the more recent ones, which is Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. It is Breakthrough, isn't it? Yeah.
That's always what I play because, and even Conquest, I'm not that huge on. I much prefer Rush and Breakthrough.
Yeah.
So, I've never had much experience of like the smaller, like squad-based Battlefield games and shit. I've just never got into it, but maybe this one will be different. I guess like the modern ones lend themselves a bit more to it. I think. They're probably more suitable for like them squad-based modes. I'll tell you what, the other thing I caught my eye as well is that Ghostwire Tokyo thing has been delayed.
Was it?
That was today. Yeah, freshly on that, fresh out the oven.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch up on that quick.
I still can't decide how I feel about this game. So this Ghostwire Tokyo, which they've showed off, I think where did they show it off initially? It was one of the earliest. Was it in the PS5 reveal?
E3 2019 it was.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was before before PS5, presumably.
Before PS5, yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was shown off the same time as Deathloop. They were both announced like at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. I think I remember. So it's been delayed into early next year, which there's a lot of delays in there at the moment. So it's difficult to.
It's been a bit of a weird one, Ghostwire as well. Like famously, everyone fell in love with the director. Then she left like a few months afterwards. Then there was whole speculation that was like, oh, Bethesda being horrible. Turns out she just left to have a kid, which is. But then it's like changed directors a few times and stuff. But I'm not sure. At least it sounds like it's still coming out. At least.
Yeah. Because it's not a huge delay either, really. I mean, it's
not too bad.
Early next year sounds further away than it is, doesn't it? I always think that.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I look at it and I just go, nah. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's my opinion of it. So, but there are people looking forward to it. Sorry, Liam.
I was just there was that thing. The NieR Automata PC port is finally getting a patch 4 years after it came out.
Is this? I think we talked about NieR Automata on PC pretty recently. Or because this rings a bell to me.
They put it on Game Pass, and it turns out the Game Pass version on PC was made by a different company who did it a lot better. But now not long ago they said they were going to patch the Steam version, which without using a fan mod is completely and utterly broken. But now it's finally getting.
As soon as you said fan mod, my fan just turned off. Did you hear the click? No. That was really weird, Liam. Sorry, it was the exact second as well. Maybe you'll be able to hear that in the recording. That's very fucking odd. Anyway, go on.
It's just like, they finally fixed it after 4 years, and it's coming out this Friday. So better late than never, I guess.
About damn time, isn't it? Yeah, what the hell?
And there's a lot of changes by the looks of it. From just patch notes, they've redone all the UI to be in 4K. They've redone all the cutscenes to be at a high bit rate. They've added new graphics settings, bug fixes. It actually runs at 60 FPS now.
They're going to get bullied on the internet. They're going to get cyberbullied if it's not good. So I hope it's
absolutely
good. For their sake, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh.
Cyberbullied, I've not heard.
Yeah, I've been trying to bring it back. I've been trying to bring it back.
There was probably a Channel 4 documentary about cyberbullying in 2007, and that was the last time I heard it used.
Yeah, I love it. And nowadays they just incorrectly call it trolling. So that's it. Yeah.
All right, is there anything else you want to talk about before we go into the new games? Because there's some big games.
It is. Apart from, I've got to say, well, actually, no, it leads into it really. But next week is one of the most exciting weeks for me for the year. So I'm looking forward to getting it.
Well, I booked next Friday off. So
yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about that next week. Okay, then. So the new games for... okay, I've decided after last week, I think it probably makes more sense to just go Monday to Friday on the new releases every week. So the current week, so if that means we talk every week about games that are already out, as in, they've been out, they came out Tuesday or Wednesday, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll just do it Monday to Friday. Here's the games that are out this week, right?
Yeah.
So with that in mind, the games that are out this week, and on Thursday actually, is quite a light week in terms of how many releases there are, but some of them are quite big. So Thursday, the 15th of July, is Blaster Master Zero 2, which is out on Xbox One and Series X. Did you guys? I've seen this a lot, but I've never. Blaster Master.
I played Blaster Master Zero. It was a Switch launch title. I think
that's why I've seen it so much. I think.
Yeah, it's This is just sequel. It's coming to Xbox. It's been on PC, Switch, and PlayStation for ages, but it's part of this new Xbox Japanese game renaissance, I guess. Because Xbox hasn't had any Japanese games for pretty much the entire last generation. Now they're getting them all again because people actually own Xboxes again.
What, in Japan?
And just worldwide. Well, Microsoft have really stepped up their relations with Japanese developers,
right?
Which they've always tried to do, but it's never quite taken off. But good old Phil Spencer seems to be really committing hard to, because they've got the entire Yakuza series now on the Xbox. They've got a really strong partnership with Sega. They're trying to because it used to be if you're interested even remotely in Japanese games, you pretty much had to have a PlayStation or a PC. If you were an Xbox gamer, it pretty much never happened. Japanese games coming to Xbox, but it's starting to now. It's slowly starting to get better.
I should mention as well, I forgot to mention this. There's only a bit of DLC. I did mention it last week, but I'm only mentioning it because I'm excited for it.
Because we know it's going to come up next week, so give them the foreshadowing. I already know what you're going to say, I think.
No, you don't. Total War.
Total War? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What's coming up next week?
What, you talking about it?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Sorry.
I see. Total War Warhammer 2, The Silence and the Fury is out on PC on the 14th, so the Wednesday, so it should already be out by the time the podcast comes out. Just another kind of Lords pack for Warhammer 2. Talked about it last week, but just a reminder. I'm looking forward to this. Any excuse to get back into that fucking game, I'm into it. So.
And it's the last excuse you've got if it's new content, because it's the last thing before they move on to Total War Warhammer 3.
Absolutely. So there's that. But back to the 15th of July, the Thursday, Trials of Mana is out on iOS and Android. Square Enix role-playing game. We talked this. There was a recent thing about this came up in the new games recently.
Yeah, it came.
Some of them, honestly, just every week. I feel.
Yeah.
This is one of the newer ones that came out.
Was it a Secret of Mana? What that came out? The Secret of Mana collection or something came out on PS4. No.
I can't remember. But Trials of Mana is the newest one, a remake. It came out on PS4, Switch, PC last year, and now it's coming to phones, which can't imagine that'd be very fun to play because it's an action RPG with like timing and dodging. Not sure how fun that would be on a touchscreen, but
so they're trying.
It'd be like one of them phone games where like the UI is basically occupying this amount of the screen, isn't it? It's just it's huge buttons in the bottom left and bottom right.
The mobile gaming space continues to try. You know, they're releasing all these new controllers and stuff, like not new, but the backbone controller I was showing you guys. And Android just put out. I saw this on the gaming news, but it wasn't that exciting. But it's worth a mention now, I suppose. They've just announced like the feature that you can play as it's downloading. You know, like what Xbox and PlayStation do. You hit a certain threshold and then it's ready to play. They're doing that now as well.
Pretty serious, isn't it? And you always see like kids playing on mobile devices, isn't it? That's the thing. Like if you ever have any family events or whatever, there's always a tablet or a phone, and the kids are playing like some Minecraft clone or some Fortnite clone or Fortnite or something on there.
Yeah.
So it is huge, but it's just the different like demographic in it. Yeah. And then Friday the 16th of July. F1 2021 is out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Obviously, a racing game. Codemasters. Codemasters are the big fucking British like racing specialists, apart from the Xbox.
And they're owned by EA now.
Yeah. It's. I work with Nikon, who put out about 7,000 racing sports games a year. They all blend into one. This is no different. Good if you like Formula One, but it's one of them. It's not enough to pull someone in who's not into it.
No. I've very, very recently been looking at like racing games and car games and shit, and it is bad. You just don't know where to start, to be totally honest. And there's so many series, and even like Forza Horizon is like a spin-off series, isn't it? But it's kind of the main series in a way because it's the most kind of appealing. And then Dirt has like Dirt 5, but then there's Dirt Rally 2.0.
Well, that's what's hard to differentiate. Basically, you never know if you're getting a kind of casual experience or you're getting it. Is this one for the people with the wheels?
Yeah.
Is this one for people who have a steering wheel set up?
I think.
Yeah, and I think F1 is more of a sim, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then look in some of the sims like WRC 9. It looks pretty good. Like it looks like a good next gen like racing game, but I don't know if I'll pick it up. But but that is a completely different experience to like Dirt 5. But Liam, I guess you out of all of us played the most racing games, I reckon, right?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, a bit of Forza Horizon and shit, don't you?
Forza Horizon, I played Dirt 5. I liked that quite a lot. Apart from the many, many bugs and glitches, which took a bit longer than they should have to fix, but oh well. But yeah, like I liked Dirt 5. That was more arcadey, more like I think it was actually made by. Do you remember the people who used to make MotorStorm? They got absorbed into Codemasters, I think, and they made Dirt 5.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I've not played like Dirt Rally 2.0 or WRC, like the really sim-heavy ones, but yeah, I tend to prefer the more arcadey stuff. I'm playing Need for Speed Heat at the moment on PS5.
I've got EA Play on the PS5, which by the way gives you a huge discount on like the digital versions of basically Battlefield. Is like £10 cheaper on PS5 and EA Play is $3.99 for 1 month. So I don't know, just checking it out there. I think I might pre-order Battlefield now while I've got this EA Play pass. So
get the discount.
But anyway, I've been playing Need for Speed Heat, which I'm quite enjoying, but a lot of the Need for Speed games, I'm looking specifically for like a street racing game.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Need for Speed games like of recent years haven't, they're just not reviewed very well. Heat is like the best reviewed, and it is the most recent one, but it isn't like glowing praise either. But so if anyone's got any like good casual racing game recommendations, please let me know in the comments. And then finally for this week, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is out on Nintendo Switch on July the 16th, which is the Friday. I didn't play this one.
It's good, but it annoyed people because you had to use the Wii remote. I loved Zelda. I don't talk about it enough, really, but I absolutely love Zelda, and this is a good one. I like this one a lot. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is the first one chronologically. This is like the.
Oh right.
Not like canonically. Sorry.
Like
this is
origin,
like
the origin.
This is this does talk about the origin of Hyrule and how it was made and stuff.
Oh,
so if you don't know where to start with the Zelda games and you do fancy playing one, this is a good place to start. Well, there's no better place to start, really, if you want the story.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the story is really great in the Zelda games, because it's pretty much the same every single game.
Yeah.
But there are little things that are cool and stuff like that. It's good. So, go on.
I might have a look at this because it's because of Breath of the Wild, just the nature of Breath of the Wild. It doesn't. It's not. I mean, in the sense, it's not a traditional, kind of Zelda setup.
It's going to be a shock for people who've only ever played Breath of the Wild, and then they pick up this one. It's going to be a big shock to the system for them.
And yeah, exactly, a much needed one, I think. Get fucking some. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So like the thing that makes this one so different is because like Twilight Princess was the first on the Nintendo Wii, but it was actually also developed for the GameCube. So it didn't fully integrate the Wii's like motion sensor thing, but this one was made for it. So they got really creative with it. The Zelda games are, it's funny because it's the same formula every time, but they'll always have one gimmick or one thing that's really creative. And you go, oh my God, Breath of the Wild had about 3 of those little gimmicks. And that's the thing that made it so beloved, because it's, so yeah, this is really makes the most of the motion controls. So the Joy-Cons kind of the evolution of it. So I'm interested to see how they do it. I will definitely be getting this because I've got really good memories of this one. In the top 3 for me, which is fucking
wow.
I might buy it because
it's no Majora's Mask, but
I'm I'm a like an Ocarina of Time guy, right? So if you're playing games in the 90s and you're more than likely going to say either Ocarina of Time or one of the PlayStation classics. So Ocarina of Time is my one, right? So that's one of my favorite games ever. So, but I've not had that in years and years and years. I've not had in my opinion, a Zelda experience that I've loved. I'm not saying I'm going to love this, but it just seems like I've been like this on it. Not sure, but hearing you guys talk about it, I might.
It's definitely different than Breath of the Wild, and it's probably closer to Ocarina for sure. Yeah. But it's still doing.
How are they doing the motion stuff then?
I think
it's
no.
You can use, but if you're playing it handheld, I think you can use buttons, or if you really want to go motion controls handheld, you can just use the kickstand on the back. But I think other than that, if you want to play it like proper, like original Wii style, it's you have to dock it on the telly, take the controls off it, and play it like that.
I reckon
you can play it just handheld.
I think so, yeah.
I reckon it will still work as well. I don't think it was made around it so much that it's going to be of detriment. I don't think, but it's cool, this one. And what it's like basically like if you think about like Wind Waker's the one with the boat. This is the one where you've got a bird and you fly through the sky.
Sure.
Yep.
So it's got some cool mechanics, Okay.
And I've seen it going quite cheap as well, to be honest. I've seen it less than 40 quid in a couple of places.
Yeah, well worth it for that, I reckon.
Yeah, I might get a physical and see how long it survives in the collection.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for watching. Please keep your emails coming to dsspecialmoves@gmail.com. We didn't have them this week, and so we were looking at news and all that kind of shit. So if you want us to talk about specific things, if you've got opinions, if you've got recommendations, any like stories or anything like that, please send them into dsspecialmoves@gmail.com because it does help us put the podcast together. We're not just bullshitting. You had an example this week of what it's like when we don't have the emails. So I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just a different thing, isn't it? So if you want to contribute to the podcast, email dsspecialmoves@gmail.com. Thanks everyone who supports us on Patreon. We've got bonus podcasts every week usually, so check out the Patreon feed for that if you haven't already, and we'll see you next week.